numbers show it. Major crimes are up nearly 40% this year in New York. 40% in 1 year. So that's a complete disaster. And it hurts, as always, the weakest among us. But instead of acknowledging that, much less addressing it, Democrats and the media are telling you, if you notice it, you're the criminal. Watch.
Less than 5 weeks to midterms, and Republicans are pulling out all the old fear and loathing playbook, trying to scare voters about crime.
We saw J.D. Vance harping on the issue of crime and linking it to things like illegal immigration. Those are the types of issues, the things that drive fear.
The issue of crime and the issue of immigration have long been proxies for race, for playing the race card, for trying to scare voters to vote Republicans because of the encroachment of black and brown people.
Essentially, the fear of black people coming into your communities. It's the fear of immigrants coming into your communities. It's the fear of Latinos coming into your communities. And Republicans have used this language time and time again to scare their voters into going along with their policies.
You really hope that November 8th is the beginning of the end of the hegemony of the tiny brain, cringing liberal. The lifestyle liberals who really wrecked this country, the people you just saw on MSNBC. You hope that their reign is over, because they've done so much damage. And their hypocrisy is impossible to miss. These are the ones who cheered as the beleaguered residents of Martha's Vineyard deported 50 illegal aliens to a military base. Get off our island! Now they're telling you that you're the one who's afraid of migrants in your community because you're a racist. The shamelessness goes right to the top. Of course it does. Here's Joe Biden on Saturday.
About the strength of the dollar right now?
I'm not concerned about the strength of the dollar. I'm concerned about the rest of the world. Does that make sense?
Can you explain that?
Yes. Our economy is strong as hell.
I'm not concerned about our economy. I'm concerned about Ukraine. Our economy is strong as hell. Really? Have you looked at markets? It's not just tycoons who care. That's where your retirement account is. It's way down. And by the way, day to day you notice inflation. We have record inflation. We could go on about it. We have many times, but you already know. They're telling you, yes, we have inflation because it's kind of hard to deny. Their own fake cooked numbers reflect it. What they're telling you for now is that Republicans are responsible for it. They did this. Remember the Inflation Reduction Act? So much for that. Joe Biden is now saying, and we're quoting, if Republicans in Congress get their way, prices will go up and inflation will get worse. It's that simple. Really? Tell us how that works. It's unbelievable. It really is. It's like eating the cookies right in front of you. You ate the cookies. No, you ate the cookies. It's sick, actually. So they're telling you that if you vote Republican, you're going to get a lot more of the things that you don't like that they created. By the way, if you don't vote for Democrats, border security will actually get worse too. But for now, it's not a crisis. Relax, racist. There are no drugs or criminals or terrorists coming over the border from Mexico. This isn't some intentional attempt to change the population of the United States. Even though Democrats have said so many times on camera, watch.
Blue wave is African American.
Yeah!
It's white, it's Latino, it's Asian Pacific Islander. It is made up of those who've been told that they are not worthy of being here. It is comprised of those who are documented and undocumented.
In a couple of presidential cycles, you'll be on election night. You'll be announcing that we're calling the 38 electoral votes of Texas for the Democratic nominee for president. It's changing. It's going to become a purple state and then a blue state because of the demographics.
The demographics of America are not on the side of the Republican Party. The new voters in this country are moving away from them. And instead, they're moving to be independents or to even vote on the other side.
There was Tiny Dick Durbin admitting that by design, America's population is changing faster than in any country in history, and you are required to conclude that is a great thing. You must celebrate it, and if you don't, you're evil. But you also can't acknowledge it's happening. In other words, it's not real, and it's a very good thing that it is. So if it's not real, who are these people coming into the United States? Well, according to CNN, 99% of them are law-abiding. Watch Carrie Lake, who's running for governor of Arizona, respond to that.
DHS says that less than 1% of migrants encountered at the border have a criminal record. But I want to stick on the question of asylum. Those that do meet the criteria, should they be allowed to stay in this country? And do you think that what the current governor, Doug Ducey, has done, sending some of the migrants to Washington, D.C., is the right thing to do? Would you continue that practice?
Dana, I'm going to have to disagree with you on that figure you just put out. We have 1 million gotaways. These are people who are intentionally entering this country, mainly through the Tucson sector, and we don't know what their background is.
Well, exactly. Okay, so that was the masterclass right there for all Republican candidates. Never agree to the premise of a biased question. Well, it just so happens that 99% of these people are totally law-abiding, but on to the next thing. Whoa, 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 wait, that's not true, actually. And the point is, we can't know if it's true because we don't know who a lot of these people are. That's the key point. That's what Carrie Lake said. So according to the Biden administration's own estimates, nearly 1 million illegal migrants managed to evade detection and sneak into the country since the beginning of fiscal year 2021. So how many of those have pre-existing criminal records? Well, we don't know. We have no idea. We know they're using all fake documents here in the United States, the one you'll get arrested for if you dare to use. We also know that they broke federal law by definition by sneaking into our country without permission. So to avoid that problem, the CNN anchor focuses on the number of migrants encountered. But a lot of those migrants are criminals too. They are, again, breaking federal law with fraudulent asylum claims, but you're not allowed to notice that. The good news is a lot of people are noticing that. This is all a lie. It's a tissue of lies, and it's coming apart. Now, the Republican Party in Washington, we hate to tell you, is as lame as it's ever been. It's controlled opposition, obviously. But the good news is voters are genuinely sick of it. And that's why Carrie Lake in Arizona and Blake Masters also in Arizona will likely win, and why Adam Laxalt will likely win in Nevada. And it's why you're seeing conservatives surge in places that Biden won easily just 2 years ago. That would include the 5th Congressional District of Connecticut. We're going to talk to a Republican running there in a minute. And it would include the state of Michigan. Tudor Dixon is running for governor of that state. She has closed the gap with perhaps the worst governor in the United States, Gretchen Whitmer. Here is Tudor Dixon's message.
A lot of people want to have families. This state, we don't have support from the governor for families unless they look exactly the way she wants. And you know what that looks like these days? It looks like single moms. No, not single moms. Single women working. That's like her dream for women. Single women working. Last time I checked, that was a pretty lonely life.
So Tudor Dixon, as we just told you, is running for governor in Michigan. In a normal year, you'd have to say, well, Michigan is a union-dominated Democratic state. We elected Gretchen Whitmer. Tudor Dixon has no chance. This year, not only does Tudor Dixon have a chance, looks like she's going to win. And we're happy to have her join us tonight. Tudor Dixon, thank you so much for coming on. So you're one of the candidates. You're not just running against the failed governor of Michigan, and boy, has she failed, but you're also running as someone who's going to improve Michigan. Can you just give us a quick preview of what you're telling audiences when you speak to them?
First and foremost, we are going to bring back education in the state of Michigan. It has been decimated by this governor. We were 38th in the nation, and then she kept our kids out of school. But then we heard the Department of Ed is trying to keep secrets from parents and teach sex and gender. Parents across the state of Michigan are mad. You've been talking about crime. That's a top issue for people in Michigan, too. Under Gretchen Whitmer, we started as 14th most violent crime. Now we're 9th most violent crime in the country. And the economy. We've got to reduce regulations and bring businesses back to our state. Businesses are leaving. You've seen Ford leave the state of Michigan.
So the politicizing the schools, is that something you think voters in Michigan are aware of?
Absolutely. You are even seeing the voters in Dearborn, Michigan. You're seeing families across the state that are saying, whoa, wait a minute. We do not want this sex and gender in our schools. We've put it on our website, TudorDixon.com. We are going to fight against this sex and gender in schools. Similar to what you saw in Florida, talking about we're going to go back to the basics for kindergarten to 3rd grade, and none of this pornography. We have parents across the state that are reading things out loud that you wouldn't be able to air on your show.
Yeah. Keep that stuff away from my little kids, creep. I think that's a totally fair thing to say, and I'm glad that you're running on it. Looks like you're going to win, and I'll be grateful when you do. Tuna Dixon, thank you.
Thank you so much.
So, when you think of like professional pro-lifers, you don't imagine them scaling skyscrapers to speak out about the issue they care so much about. But there is one man who is climbing buildings in order to bring attention to the unborn. We're going to talk to him live next.